All right, YouTube, I got another recap of Operation Devil Dogs for you. This is a recap of round 9. We are almost done with this game, nearing the end of it. We got one more round to go. We started this game shortly after the start of October, and we'll hopefully be wrapping this up within a day or so, day or two. But anyway, here is a recap of what happened this round, and what a doozy of a round. Let me just show off the Boneyard dish. Just a lot of stuff this time, and as you can see, a lot of C units as well. More neutrals were involved. Let's see, we got some German C units, we got a Russian Dreadnought finally dead, and we have a whole bunch of British C units as well. Some improved C mines were destroyed. An elite was destroyed. I believe that was an Austrian elite was destroyed. Got some Russian trucks that are dead. We got Russian cavalry, lots of Russian cavalry. US truck, French trucks. We also have a few French fighters got destroyed as well. 2 of them, I believe. The other one's around here somewhere. Oh, there it is, right there. Yeah. So anyway, fun stuff. Let me explain what happened. All right. So Austria went and attacked Burgundy. And now I got some task force markers involved here, so I'm just going to go over that real quick. This is what Austria has in Burgundy, and then the French have just this little stuff here. But it was just crowded enough, and Austria came in, attacked that territory. Some Germans came in to support them, and then the French counterattacked on their turn, but backing up to Austria. They went this way. They retook, I think Tyrol was contested at the start of the turn, took that, and then moved into Switzerland from units that they had in Bavaria, along with the fighter that was in that territory or involved in that combat. And then they finally took Greece. So that was the neutral power that was that got involved this game. Usually Greece gets involved more like mid-game or so, or early mid-game or whatever. But yeah, in this particular instance, it took a while for them to get involved. Let's see, got another light. All right, there we go. And then basically just a lot of fortifying of the Balkans, and some minor skirmishing over Veneto. That's basically about it for Austria in terms of what they did. I also still have some units up there in Lithuania. And that is Austria. The Russian Empire was in Caucasus previously, moved up to Crimea with the bulk of everything, but they also went to, what was it? They had units in eastern Ukraine from previously going there, right? So Germany attack on their turn. The Russian Revolution still has not happened, nor has not occurred, but it's been on the brink of occurring ever since. But end of Russia's turn, the Central Powers only controlled 4 territories. Right now they need 5 in order for the revolution to occur. But anyway, here is Eastern, all this stuff right here is in Eastern Ukraine. Germany came in and attacked that previously, and then snagged that trench works, and then the Russians tried their best to contest it, as well as contesting Belarus, which they did. They contest Belarus just enough to stall that push, and also contest this enough to stall that push as well, throwing whatever fast movers he could at it, hence all the cavalry, just threw not a lot of units that could actually not a lot of heavy hitters, but just enough to attack, contest these territories and slow down the Germans and stuff. Germany also split units off from eastern Ukraine and backed up to western Ukraine to try and defend Kiev, and also towed a few units to Romania. Germany on their turn did a strategic bombing raid and was successful again with 1 Zeppelin, this time knocking off 3 IPCs from Russia's income. They also tried to bomb London, but that was not successful. And then Germany took its navy and smashed the Russian dreadnought. That's the pesky Russian dreadnought that was off the coast of Berlin for at least half the game. What with how the Allies were positioned, they brought the bulk of their forces here, bought a bunch of transports, 4 of them, for some possible sneaky Petrograd grabs, or just, snagging Finland, counterattacking to Denmark, which the Allies then on their turns went and attacked Hanover and Denmark, and I'll get to that in a bit. But they basically sneaky Carled this sea zone with a cruiser, then left a cruiser here and a sub, and then brought everything else over here and built those transports. However, Germany, and I'm playing Germany, overlooked that in Belgium, France had fighters. And so he sent, because I had all of France's stuff on a big task force marker. So in my haste, I made a little critical mistake about that. And so the fighters attacked the cruiser and were able to knock it out, and then returned to Picardy. The French also went down and attacked Lorraine, took that back from the Austrians, and like I said earlier, counterattacked Austrians and Germans in Burgundy down here. But the whole situation with the Allies has changed. Everything was stocked in Belgium before. Now the Brits and the Americans, which are over here, this stuff here is all in Lorraine, and all of this stuff here, including one of the Zeppelins, which is now empty, doesn't have any bombs or anything, is in Rhine province. So yeah, we got 1 turn left. I figure it's safe to say that Rhine province, Cologne, major city Cologne, is safe. But we still got Strasbourg at risk. We got the opportunity of Ypres, I think that's how you pronounce it. And we also have to worry about Hamburg, which we got to snag. Germany has to snag back. So basically, France did that, freed up the British. The British then went into Sea Zone 21, and Germany had improved sea mines from the port in Hanover, which means each ship, except for the transports, got 2 dice rolled against them, and they got massively boned. 1 dreadnought was damaged. A cruiser was destroyed. 2 subs were destroyed. 1 of the transports was destroyed, and then fighting against the German cruiser and sub, both of these rolling at 2 because the cruiser was detecting the sub. Both of these scored a hit, so he then lost the damaged dreadnought and the remaining sub. So yeah, craziness. Improved sea mines are scary, and Madman has boned me plenty of times with them, but it's kind of nice being on the defensive end and them actually pulling through for me, because this is all that is left of the British Navy, of the big British Navy from before. Just completely crazy. Of course, they built another transport, had 1 transport left that grabbed guys from Wales and brought them over. And then 2 other cruisers came up from the Atlantic and stuff. But yeah, just a map. That is a big blow to their sea units, but it doesn't really matter too much because we got 1 last round of gameplay. With the transport that survived, it unloaded 2 infantry into Hanover, knocking out the improved sea mines, reverting them to regular standard mines, British controlled now, of course. And then on the Americans, on their turn, came in and they landed in Denmark, taking that away. So now this fleet cannot go and attack Sea Zone 21 because the Allies now control the Danish Straits. So interesting. So I have 2 options. I have a few options with that navy. I can either hit Denmark to try. I can hit Denmark. I can hit go for Petrograd. I can hit Finland. I can hit Sweden if I want to try and pad the Empire point with Sweden. But yeah, and then Germany also moved its air force that was here over to Lithuania as well, and we got a Zeppelin here. So all of that can theoretically smash Petrograd, but he has, what was it? I think he's got 18 bucks, so he's got 18 bucks worth of units he can throw down there. He can throw some C units down there if he wants to. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, fun stuff. There's also one's German subs still up there in C-Zone 24. What else? Otherwise, Germany played really defensively and sent a bunch of stuff down to Rhine province, built more in Rhine province. Didn't build anything in Bavaria this time, but built it and sent their built those land units there in Berlin, and also sent their trucks there to try and give them some options as to where to go with them. Yeah, so fun stuff. What else? Down here in Africa, this is the situation. The Germans pulled out of South Africa, leaving the Ottomans to contest South Africa. But the Brits on their turn just wiped the remaining rebellious Ottoman units, which is 2 cavalry and an infantry. Yeah, basically, only thing that because there's no way they're going to be able to get Cape Town now. So it's really just, and they've just lost with the Americans coming in and the Italians. They've just lost the Africa Point. So the Allies now have the Africa Point. So it's all about just trying to defend as many of these territories as possible to try and pad the Empire Point. All right. What else? Japan is basically out of the game at this point. They just knocked out the remaining Germans in Bolivia. So Japan controls Peru, Bolivia, and Chile. Wild little stuff. All right, and then that's all over. Again, we've called the China point for the Central Powers a couple rounds ago, so we're not playing this out. There's just no point to it. Just save some time. So Central Powers have the China point, and let's see what else. Okay, Ottomans. Oh yeah, the Brits pushed into, or no, they just reinforced here really. Sent some units up to Caucasus. They attacked Arabia, and just keep building in Egypt, pretty much. And they came down into Lorraine, like I said, and did all that up there. The Ottomans, seeing this happening and not wanting to lose Ankara, sent a big force over here along with their fighters. Their air force is up in Ankara because he's got 2 fighters. They got 3. Continued to pad Jerusalem. Also sent units down to. I know this C-Zone is very stacked right now, but Ottomans sent units down to Hejaz to protect Mecca. And then the Italians on their turn came in here and attacked. They did not get enough hits. They lost the infantry to a preemptive strike. But they got a decent amount of hits, and the Ottomans got less hits in return. But anyway, all these units was the infantry from Crete that went to Italy after the Austrians attacked Crete. And then they picked up their units from, the rest of their units from Egypt. And then 2 of them they sent down to Anglo-Egyptian Sudan, which previously the Americans liberated, and then the Americans on their turn came in, walked into British East Africa, and sent a cavalry into Belgian Congo. They also liberated Gold Coast after Germany backed up. So, fun stuff. Let's see. Basically about that there. The Americans sent what they could over here, sent to here to potentially hit Belgium on their next turn. America tried to see if they could get lucky with a tech, and they got poison gas, which is not really what Madman wanted. But all well, such is life. We don't always get what we want. As I'm sure most of us are familiar with. And like I said, the Americans came up and snagged Denmark, and they dropped some units off in Brittany and came down and reinforced the British and French in Lorraine. So that basically about summarizes what happened this round. Again, if you pay attention to the last several recaps, last round had quite a bit of casualties. A few rounds before that had very minor casualties. There was a lot of positioning, but like just right now, just like pop. It was a, a big one. This was a big one. And this, the amount of sea units, just crazy. So, all right, now let's look at the points. All right, this is the situation currently. The Allies have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. The Central Powers have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. The Allies have Western Front, favorable trade, the Russian Revolution. They have the Africa point. They have the Middle East oil point, which is at least 3 out of 4 of these territories that have the oil derricks on them: Caucasus, Persia, Mesopotamia, and Arabia. They have all 4 of them. So they have the Middle East oil point. The Central Powers have the China point. And the Allies have the Pacific Colonies point for sure now. They almost have minor cities 3. They have Hamburg and Basra right now in terms of the minor cities. The Central Powers have Bucharest, Warsaw, and Kiev. And Kiev and Bucharest are under threat from the Russian horde. So, yeah, scary for the Central Powers, but they gotta try and defend both of these or snag another minor city elsewhere. But I don't know if that's gonna be possible, other than we got Ypres. Could get Ypres. Fun stuff. Yeah, okay. All right, it's gonna be about those last minute game grabs, you know. That's what it's gonna come down to, I think. So I got one last German turn to play. I got to update Austria-Hungary and Russia, and then do my turn and crank that out. Right now, the Central Powers have the Empire point. They're at 90 on the tracker. Allies are only at 77. But again, it's how many vulnerable points down here. It's very possible. It's possible they can get at Britain and France if they are able to snag enough stuff. Getting tongue-tied. Okay. Again, the Central Powers have the Balkans. If I didn't go over it, the Central Powers have the Balkans point. They have the Black Sea point just barely. Marmara, Northern. It's all about who controls the most amount of territories around the Black Sea. Central Powers have Northern Anatolia, Marmara, Bulgaria, and Romania. Allies have Crimea, Caucasus, and Armenia. So it's 3 to 4 right now. Fun stuff. What else? I feel like I'm missing something. Okay. Yeah, like I said, they have the China point, they have the Empire point, and they have Belgrade, which I don't see them losing Belgrade this game. But the Balkans point could be possibly snagged. So we'll see. But I think this last round will be the doozy of them all, and then we'll be done. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for the next one, and then I'll kind of, give that recap when it happens, and share some final thoughts and all that jazz. So stay tuned, and see you later.